Yo, yo, what's good? All right, so today we're gonna look at an Oxtail blade tutorial. Like I mentioned previously, I really want to go over weapons that have unique mechanics with them, and the Oxtail blade is one of them. So obviously the main kind of like gimmick or mechanic are aerial combos. So with, every weapon, with most weapons, we have a regular attack combo, we have heavy attacks, and we have forward attacks. However, the Oxtail blade has jumping variants of all of these, but there are also a couple cool unique things we can do with it beyond that I don't think a lot of people kind of realize. So the first main thing, first of all, obviously this weapon is very complicated to really get a good grasp on because there are just so many different moves. You have three regular attack chains. Sometimes you have different light heavy combo chains. In the air, you have three different attacks. And then we have three unique martial arts on each different style. So that's 9 unique attacks per style. And if we, look at 3 styles, 9 times 3 is 27. You have 27 unique attacks that you basically have to have good muscle memory for at all times and making sure that you know what style you're on and being able to on the fly be like, oh shit, I should do this, or I should do this, or I should do whatever I want to do. It's a lot to get comfortable with, and it takes a lot of time. Now, a couple cool things that are kind of unique to this weapon. Other weapons have this too, but it's kind of more prevalent with the Oxtail. We have martial arts that have multiple inputs, right? So like on Ching style, the X or square martial art, you can press once and get that. You can press twice, you can press 3 times. And with martial arts like this, you can counter spark cancel in between them. You can also counter spark cancel mid-air on martial arts like this, if you time it right. It's not pulling it off. Timing is like hella tight, but you can counter spark cancel mid-air with a lot of these in-air aerial martial arts. The coolest thing that you can do is there's going to be martial arts like this that have air follow-ups and air finishers, okay? So the first input of the martial art launches you into the air. The second input is going to do this little triple kick. Third input is going to slam you down. Now, where you can get really cool and creative, and I'm looking on Muimo Kashin Ryu. So the A, or I think that would be what, X on PlayStation martial art, does this. And if you grab an Adaki enemy, it'll do like a cool little crit animation. But where the unique kind of interactions come in are this. If you do the first parts, you can finish with the square or X martial art aerial finisher. So if you get launched into the air by a heavy attack or by a different martial art, so let's say you start this attack and it doesn't break the key, so you're not getting the crit. In the middle of it, you can use the martial art that's on the X. I'm just to make it simple, I'm just gonna use Xbox controls. So if you start with this A martial art, but you don't break their key, so you don't get the crit, you can switch to the X martial art in midair. So this is like the only thing in the game that I can really think of, at least at the moment, where you can combine 2 martial arts into one unique attack. So this is our first martial art. This is our second martial art. We're combining them, and I don't have to do any complicated cancels, no shuriken, nothing. It's simply just once you're in air, switch to the other martial art, and you will come down with the other finisher. That is so fucking cool, because now we have a 4th unique martial art on this, and it's this martial art, and we're combining 2 different martial arts. That will only work if with martial arts that have an aerial finisher. So you can also transition heavy attacks. All heavy attacks are going to launch us into the air. You can transition heavy attacks into these as well. Anything that launches you into the air, you can transition into aerial martial art finishers. Okay, I know that's kind of like convoluted, but it's very cool. So like this too, you can launch yourself and then finish. Launch yourself and then finish. So it doesn't have inherent like in-air martial art variants. However, if martial arts end up launching you in the air and have an in-air finisher, you can basically create your own in-air martial arts with it. You cannot do this without in-air martial arts. So if I use on the Kiheitai, if I use the triangle input in air, it just does like a regular, you know, kind of bitch made attack. It's not actually allowing me to use any sort of martial art. Now, the one thing I can't figure out that I don't think you can do is stance switch mid-air to allow you to finish. So I can't start on Ching, launch myself in the air, switch styles, and then finish with this attack. That I can't figure out a way to do. If there is some hidden tech that allows you to style switch mid-air and finish with the other styles martial art, please let me know, because I have been trying very hard to do that, and from what I can tell, it's just simply not possible. I can't even get the style switch to register mid-air, so I don't think it's a matter of timing. You can't use a shuriken to kind of reset. You also, I've tried doing the Goomba stomp where you jump off people's heads. He's not an enemy, won't let me do it. But where you jump off people's heads, that also won't allow it. But either way, it's a lot of really cool, unique interactions. So you can, you know, it has a lot of, where's my one? I wanted this one. So it has a lot of cancelable martial arts, which is pretty unique. So we can cancel a lot of martial arts into counter sparks. You can also cancel some. I don't know like exactly the tech on it, I guess, but I know there are times where I have canceled martial arts, in-air martial arts into counter sparks. But I guess I just don't know how I did it. I can't seem to figure it out at the moment. Yeah, but other than that, you know, all of it's pretty basic. You do have a lot of good like ranged options with some of these martial arts. They grab the little like tail at the end of it, kind of like swing it around or whatever. But so we can cancel that into a martial art. But yeah. So heavy attacks are always, just kind of recap, heavy attacks are always going to launch us into the air. We have forward attacks, heavy attacks, light attack combos, both in air and on the ground. We have martial arts that launch us into the air. And once we are in the air, within the same style, we can switch to a different martial art to create your own unique martial art combos. Okay? So again, this is what this martial art looks like. This is what this martial art looks like. I can combine the two to create something kind of unique. You cannot switch style mid-air. At least I cannot find a way to switch styles mid-air, which I thought would be really cool. If we could start, you know, with something like this and then switch over, but I just don't really think it's possible. So yeah, I think that covers most of the basics that most people probably don't know about with this weapon. It is I think it's probably the best weapon in the game, and not simply because it has, you know, a little bit of tech and some cool shit you can do, but it's the coolest weapon in the game. They're like one of the strongest weapons in the game because it deals so much key damage. Like these like punching and kicking martial arts are just fucking brutal. It's super fast. It has fast counter sparks that seem to have like very good parry frames. I showcased in a different, I don't think, yeah, like you have styles like this where you do have follow-ups on the counter sparks as well. This, you can kind of use these. I think like Last Load and Pufalama have showcased like a little bit of stuff like this where you can kind of use them as attacks. Um, that's the, on Kiheitai is the only one that I really think it's cool, but most of the counter sparks do have follow-up attack in some, most of the styles do have counter spark follow-up attacks in some way. Ching doesn't, but the others do. So yeah, that covers, it's already been like 6 minutes. That covers everything I want to talk about. If anybody can find any tech that allows me to switch styles in midair to combo, it would be the only way in the game that you could combo martial arts from different styles. It already has the only method of comboing two martial arts into one unique attack. However, if we could start doing that with different styles, the possibilities would be absolutely wild. But yeah, thanks for checking it out. Peace.